inspired you to write a book?
What inspired me to write a book? There's not a lot of books you see on African Americans, stories about wrestling, whether it's middle school, high school, college, international. So what inspired me is to show that African Americans in the sport of wrestling, they go through a lot by learning about the sport itself. So this way, they can reach out, and I hope it reaches out to them to show them that, hey, you can write a book. You can be successful in writing a book.
I am so happy that he have completed it and tried to get everything done. But it has been a greatly process for him to finish it. It's year by year. He tried to put a little bit of information in there and everything else. So it has been a journey for him to continue to do his work and everything else. So I am so proud of him finishing and completing his journey.
When we were first starting out with the book, I didn't know what to expect. Living with my dad, we didn't too much talk about his family life, so I was really intrigued in knowing where his background was and how he grew up, and him coming from a military family. I didn't know like all the places he'd been, all the schools he went to, and even the sports he played, because I've only thought of wrestling, but he has a very diverse background in sports, and even the places that he lived, being with the military family and moving all over the country. Within the book, I believe that it showed me a different light within my dad. Even though a lot of people know him as Coach Hemingway or Coach Hollywood, I saw a different light in knowing like that's my father. He came from this place and he learned different cultures and moved around and was able to adapt.
I definitely believe this book will be very successful. You will not be disappointed at all. His journey on this book was very patient, take his time to do it. So yes, I believe this book will be very successful here and around the world.
This book is, I think it will reach a multitude of people, not just athletes and not just wrestlers, because the route that he took in his life, it is going to open so many doors for other people, whether it's about coming from a different background, moving from place to place, not really being stable, and not really being able to bond with friends because you're having to constantly move. And also, as a wrestler, you're able to see that there's someone just like you that actually went through the difficulties and the cutting weight and the weigh-ins that he has to go through, that you potentially have to go through in order to make it as a top athlete.
I feel when they read the book, I really think, number one, they're going to get to know who I am. They're going to know what I went through. But at the same time, it'll be different situation where they can see where they might have been in a situation. It ain't always about the wrestling part of it. It's the family in it. It's the closeness. It's traveling all over the world.
So in the book, it also goes into aspects of a lot of inequalities that he's had to go through in his life that still goes on today, not even just in America, but all over the world, that whether it's racial or whether it's economic, that when he went through it, that he can show other students or other people that you don't have to stay in a place or you don't have to be stuck somewhere just because someone says that you belong somewhere where you don't. You can always exceed and go beyond the expectations.
The book is going to be hot. The book is going to be hot. I'm going to tell you one thing I will say about the book is, and I believe it's a bestseller, and I'm going to go on the line and say it's a bestseller, because one thing that makes a bestseller a good book is the person who is involved in the book, not just because of the numbers and what you do, it's just that passionate. Everything that you're going to get when you pick up that book is going to be inside. You're going to feel it in your heart. You're going to feel it in your toes. You're going to feel it all over your body. It's going to make you tremble, and you're going to say, hey, this is what I want to read. This is what I need. I mentioned the concept to them, and they were saying, hey, Dad, you need to go ahead and put that out. That's what my daughter told me. But then again, my wife said, hey, you have to put it out. So they gave me inspiration to put the book out. It's been sitting on the shelf for a while, and they said, you need to complete this. They enjoyed it when they read it. So once they read it, I knew that it was possible. So I give them the credit for keeping me motivated, but as well telling me, put it out. And that's why I'm here now. I'm Black, let me wrestle.